Hello everyone, and welcome to this new webinar from Empire Global Partners, where we will be learning about the process of establishing a security token exchange. This is the fifth in the series of webinars related to cryptocurrencies and tokens, and in this session we will spend our time specifically on security token exchange. In another recent webinar, we covered cryptocurrency exchanges in general, and from that we got a lot of interest and questions specifically on security tokens and how they could be dealt with in a cryptocurrency exchange. So we created this webinar for you to help answer those questions and more. I'm Pam Sullivan, webinar analyst for Empire Global Partners, and I am your virtual guide helping you learn more about the fascinating but sometimes confusing world of cryptocurrency. Before we get started, I wanted to direct your attention to the email address here on the screen, info@empireglobal.partners. This is the best way to get in touch with us about anything we go over here today, so please use this email address instead of the chat box that you might see here also on your screen below. There are representatives who monitor that email address 24/7 so that you will receive a reply back quickly and confidentially. Leonella Rook is Senior Managing Counsel for Empire Global Partners and one of the top experts on the topic of cryptocurrency. He has developed this and so many other training sessions, and he is well known across the globe as an expert on the topics of cryptocurrency, online gaming, and international business. Lionel has represented thousands of clients in that space. He is Senior Managing Counsel for Empire Global Partners, and he is currently the legal counsel and advisor for hundreds of companies in over 40 countries. A little more about Empire Global Partners. Empire Global is an international consultancy that has served clients from all over the world, with a network of attorneys, accountants, and consultants who are pioneers in the strategic planning for online casinos, banking, and cryptocurrency. They represent hundreds of cryptocurrency companies and several cryptocurrency exchanges where top tokens are traded. So be sure to check them out online at www.empireglobal.partners. All of the content provided here is for informational purposes only, and it's not to be substituted for legal advice. Cryptocurrency exchange is a highly regulated sector, so it's essential that all the steps that you take when considering starting or operating your own exchange are in compliance with the law. The experts at Empire Global Partners have worked with thousands of clients to help them make the right decisions for their particular situation and jurisdiction, and minimize any extra costs or fines that could arise from legal oversight. So it is highly recommended to get in touch with your legal team just as soon as possible into this process. Before we move ahead, let's set the path for exactly what we will cover today. To start, there will be an introduction to security tokens and security token exchanges. And now, if you are curious about cryptocurrency exchanges in general, we have a two-part series that has a lot of great information on that, and it really lays out the basics. So I recommend for you to visit Empire Global on YouTube, and there you will find the How to Open a Cryptocurrency Exchange webinar. So be sure to check that out. And if you already have some knowledge of cryptocurrency exchanges and you want to learn about security token exchanges specifically, then stay right here because we've got all that for you right now. And then you can go back and review any of the prior webinars as you need. The next item on our list is the basics of how these security token exchanges function, followed by the licenses which you will need, and then I'll end the webinar by giving you the destination that comes highly recommended by the experts here at Empire Global as the ideal destination to open a security token exchange, and how to go about getting licensed there. Okay. So hopefully you are as excited as I am to dive into this really interesting topic, so let's go. In the description for security token exchange is the key word, security. So what exactly is security? In terms of financial services, security refers to things like basic shares, debentures, bonds, options, future contracts, and forex trading instruments. These financial instruments are very important for the economy and also very highly regulated under the securities laws. In fact, the securities trading market is huge. Lots of different groups of people in the market, which makes it a very lucrative business area. And this is also a reason why it's so highly regulated, to protect the interests of the population and to ensure that the security market functions properly. So that's the exchange in basic terms, but now what is a security token? This is where the cryptocurrency world is often hard to understand, but in simple terms, a security token is a tokenized version of the securities. Tokenization is done on a blockchain where every unit of security is converted to a token. So basically, for example, one share in the financial world would be designated as a tokenized share in the cryptocurrency world, where the transaction for the share happens on a blockchain. So now the question is, why would you need to tokenize the securities? And now there are a few key advantages of the tokenization of securities. To start, it's convenience in the distribution, ease of record maintenance, since the securities are automatically recorded on the blockchain. Tokenization also enables streamlining the process of the distribution, since you have specific addresses where the tokens are delivered. There is also ease in trade and transfer of the securities, which now can be dealt with directly as a token. And as a bonus, there is the reduction of cost of the transfer. In legal terms, there is also greater transparency of ownership, since there's no intermediary and you would have the exact end wallet address for the token. So you may be wondering, how does the security token relate to the security token exchange overall? In practice, they are very closely related. The security token exchange is a trading platform for the security tokens. And since trading in securities is highly regulated by the government and licenses are required for facilitating trade in securities, a security token exchange is also a highly regulated industry. This is because security tokens are considered to be the very same thing as the securities themselves, and therefore, most regulators believe that they should also be handled in the same way. Operating a security token exchange is viewed by regulators as being very similar to operating a share market or acting as a broker-dealer for shares in the market. To them, these are similar entities since both of them deal with shares, which are also securities, and the security token is also considered a security. This means that most jurisdictions will require that the security token exchange be properly licensed, considering that they need to have the same level of protection as for securities. The regulators may even decide to implement the same level of compliances as for other dealers or stock exchanges that deal with shares or debentures. Like the general dealers of securities, security token exchanges can be both centralized as well as decentralized. The centralized exchanges enable the purchase of listed security tokens from the exchange for a payment which is made by the buyer. The exchange is the trusted third party in these cases and acts as a broker and a clearinghouse between the buyer and the token issuer or the token seller. Decentralized exchanges act as the go-between which connects the buyers and the sellers to provide the channel for communication for transfer of the funds and the tokens between buyers and sellers. Rarely, some decentralized exchanges also provide escrow services. So the centralized exchanges can be compared to the share market, while the decentralized exchanges can be compared to the normal over-the-counter dealers for shares present in the market. Now, as we know, this is a sector that is very highly regulated. So you may have guessed there are a variety of licenses that will be required for opening your security token exchange, so let's go over those now. There are 4 groups of licenses for opening the security token exchange. Some you may need and some you may not. The first is the security trading license, and this one is mandatory. This license permits you to act as a general trader or broker for securities, such as shares, bonds, and debentures. And now this license will also let you deal in security tokens, because don't forget, the tokens are considered securities. It's the same thing. The second license might be required depending on your jurisdiction. It's the license to operate specifically as a cryptocurrency exchange, so it's separate from the security trading license. Something to note here is that even if your business only accepts payments in virtual currencies, you will also need that license to deal with securities, since the security token in itself is considered as a security. So only having a license to operate the cryptocurrency exchange is not sufficient to operating also on the security token exchange. So just be aware of that. And if you have any questions at all about the requirements in your jurisdiction, it's best to seek the advice of the experts, such as at Empire Global Partners. Having a reliable and experienced legal team is absolute key, so that you don't get lost in the maze of legal hurdles and fines and complications that arise from legal oversight. If you are going to allow the conversion of one cryptocurrency to another in terms of a normal cryptocurrency exchange, then the license to deal with cryptocurrencies is non-negotiable. In addition to acting as a security token exchange, you might also be dealing with virtual currencies, which are used for the purchase and exchange of the security token. So it is considered good practice to obtain both the license to deal with the virtual currencies, along with the license to deal with the securities itself. The next group of license that you might need is a license for a virtual currency wallet, or an escrow license. This might be necessary if you want to provide escrow services to a customer or a facility of wallet services for storing the virtual currencies which will be used in the exchange. And last but not least, you will need to obtain a tax registration number in the country where you will operate your exchange. An important note here is that if you don't already have a local business in that country, you'll need to do that in order to receive your tax registration. As we have already discussed, the securities market is considered a very sensitive sector, and local licensing is normally linked to establishing your exchange business. So with all of these strong licensing requirements and the different types of licenses required, you might be left wondering what are some of the options of exactly where to consider opening an exchange. Luckily, the team at Empire Global Partners has studied the pros and cons of several different places and analyzed them in terms of the lowest amount of potential hurdles and an overall simple process. And at the very top of that list, according to the experts at Empire Global, for you to open your cryptocurrency exchange is Kazakhstan. The initial question that might come to your mind is, why Kazakhstan? And we have a very good answer for that. The first advantage is that Kazakhstan provides an integrated license, and this means that you don't need to apply for separate licenses for security trading, virtual currencies, and escrow or wallet services. You have one single integrated license to operate as a financial service provider. The next major benefit is that it's fast and cost-effective process, and the entire licensing process can generally be completed within 6 to 8 weeks and at a very low cost. The third major benefit is that ancillary services like banks and payment gateways are easily available in Kazakhstan. The fourth benefit is that you would be able to have 100% foreign ownership of your business in Kazakhstan. And this is ideal because you wouldn't need to have a local partner. You could make all of the business decisions independently. Other benefits include the ability to appoint local nominees and the fact that there is no requirement for any paid-up capital to be paid from when you open your business. And in case these reasons aren't convincing enough, let's talk about just a few others. First, the documentation that you'll be required to submit is really very minimal. There are only a few key documents that would be required for establishing a business. All you would need is your passport, and also so that Empire could submit the application on your behalf, you'll also need to complete a due diligence form and a power of attorney. And Kazakhstan's business environment is extremely favorable, meaning that the government is ready and willing to permit these types of financial service industries to operate in the country, and they fully support the future development of that sector. There is also the potential for you to diversify your business into other financial services if you wish to do that. And if so, there would not be any additional licensing needed. So with the licensing to operate a security token exchange, you could also delve into other things such as Forex services or other financial service sectors like hedge funds or even providing payment services. Empire Global has supported cryptocurrency business systems from all across the world. They are experts in establishing a business in Kazakhstan. They can assist you at every stage of the licensing process and ensure that it's a smooth experience for you. Establishing a security token exchange can be a major investment, and it is essential that you provide the best customer experience by enabling easy circulation of funds that are deployed in the investments made through the exchange. Banks play a key role in the process by enabling easy deposit and retrieval of funds for your exchange to enable it to function smoothly. A security token exchange needs access to a large amount of liquidity and has to ensure that funds are easily accessible, considering the nature of its business, which involves buying and selling security tokens based on customer orders. Banking facilities can be a key expenditure and reliability a major concern. You can resolve most of your concerns in a single move by getting a banking license from Comoros to ensure that you have access to reliable banking facilities for your security token exchange. Access to reliable banking facilities would mitigate any concerns which may arise about the ability to access liquid funds when required, and the ability to receive and repay funds to customers. With access to reliable banking facilities, you will also be able to transfer funds that are raised on a security token offering or initial token offering conducted through your exchange immediately to the promoters through the banking channels. A banking license in Comoros is issued as a Class B banking license from Anjuan. This license enables true offshore banking without the need for establishing any physical office in the Comoros. The license also requires a very low paid-up capital of 100,000 US dollars, which makes it accessible to a larger group of investors. Comoros ensures that a strong due diligence process is followed for the applicants of a banking license, which helps the jurisdiction maintain a strong global reputation. Comoros is tax-friendly for investors, and the income derived from outside Comoros is tax-exempt. The corporate structure to obtain a banking license in Comoros is simple. As a first step, an international business company has to be opened in the country. This company only needs to have a single director and a single shareholder, and corporate shareholders and directors are permitted. The application process can be completed rapidly, and operations can be commenced within 6 to 8 weeks. The cost of obtaining a license and establishing an offshore bank in Comoros is very competitive. The banking laws ensure that the confidentiality of clients is protected, and Empire Global can take care of the entire application process to establish a Comoros offshore bank along with your security token exchange in a combined package which can boost your business. And now before I leave you today, I want to again mention that we have other webinars available for you on the topic of cryptocurrency, and our 2-part series on how to start a cryptocurrency exchange is full of details about the topic. So be sure to take advantage of that. They are on the YouTube channel, so make sure you check them out. And send any questions that you have to info@empireglobal.partners. That will come directly to our representatives, and someone from the team will reply to all emails very quickly. The website again is www.empireglobal.partners. There's a lot of great information on there as well, and we would love to connect with you on social media. We are always curious to know how you're doing. If you have any questions or comments, we want to hear about it. So make sure you find us on Facebook at Empire Global Partners, Twitter at Empire Globals, Instagram at Empire Global Partners, and of course we're on YouTube. So on behalf of Empire Global Partners, I want to thank you so much for joining us, and see you next time.